Hello and good evening, Internet people. I don't know why I said it's good evening. I have no idea when you're going to watch this. I have no control over when exactly you appear on this video and say things. This is The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask. My name is Ryan. I'm going to read a bunch of comments while Zelda side quests happen in the background. Very excitedly, we're at the point now where a bunch of side quests unlock, some pretty chunky ones.
Channel
So this...
I just wired a 128V power supply to a 32V circuit because I'm retarded.
Oh, well, that has nothing to do with anything, Amp. Hey, so I'm gonna do a bunch of these chunky side quests, and you're going to get to enjoy it. A lot of this stuff is going to be sped up because a lot of it's just me wandering around forgetting what to do.
Channel plus ins. I managed to only blow 2 things up.
I managed to only blow 2 things up also. Both testicles? Nope, that's weird. Let's start with comment number 1. Daniel Hayes says, I kinda like the new layout. Well, I kind of like your avatar. Blue hair. Big, poofy beard. Like Santa Claus, if Santa Claus had a larger beard than he is commonly depicted with. Awesome Megaballs says, cat dicks. Oh, yeah, oh, I love those. Let's talk about cat dicks for a half an hour. Cat dicks are great. They're pretty barbed. They're, you know, that's all I know about cat dicks. So, yeah. Asher Yatmaya, who I don't remember who you are, says the new layout thingy doesn't seem like a big deal. No, it's not a big deal. I don't even know why I just talk about it for a half an hour and complain about how people don't like. Well, the thing is are you saying it's not a big deal as in and no one should care about it, or it's not a big deal as in why is everyone complaining about it? Because that's a distinction. It's most definitely a distinction. For anyone who's wondering, I'm running around in here aimlessly. For the sole reason of there was a heart piece in that box, because that lady has the hots for Mr. Sideburn Goron Link, and I guess charges him 10 rupees more, and puts a heart piece in the chest. So that's why we get to see this for the next. Spoilers, 2.5 minutes. Stanley Yelnats from Shadow Man. I do remember. I remember people, look at that. I don't feel bad for not remembering Asher Yatmaya. Says, I agree with Ryan. Oh, well, I agree with you, because you're agreeing with me. It would be weird if I disagreed with you agreeing with me. The new layout could benefit better both viewer and user. Yeah. See? Opinions about stuff. It's great to have them. Also, I really don't think you could find a better Oblivion Let's Play than the one Ryan has. Oh, gosh. That feels weird to say out loud when I'm reading someone say that. Kind of odd self-aggrandizement. Well, you know what? I tend to do a lot of that, so I guess maybe I shouldn't be so under a bonds. But yeah, I think it's a pretty good Oblivion Let's Play. You know what? I'm sure there's a better one somewhere. I'm feeling a little bit like a jerk ass now, because it's like I'm the best. I made the best Oblivion Let's Play that ever existed because I'm the coolest guy ever. Nope. It's pretty good, but maybe it's not the best ever. I don't know. I'm sure you guys will. You're the sort of people who sit down and watch 40 minutes of me playing Zelda, which is supposed to just be talking about nothing related to Zelda. So I don't know if you're the most no offense, but I don't know if you're the most. What is the word I am searching for? I'm so sleepy. I don't know if you are the most conspicuous. You know what? I can't even. The word is gone. Sorry, I tried. Anyway. I wanted to quickly talk about styles of Let's Plays. Who watches informative Let's Plays? I find that informative Let's Plays just make me angry. Does that make any sense? Like, if someone is sitting... Like, okay, don't be offended if you like them, but I find that if I'm watching something and someone is sitting there and telling me about... I don't know. Telling me about a game while they're sitting on the title screen. Get some title screen. We've been over this, but the entire concept of someone playing a game, not cutting out any of its boring bits, and then just replacing not cutting out any of its boring bits with talking about like basically trivia about the game applies. Like it just isn't at all attractive to me. Oh, by the way, we went back to the first day because I need to do some things. I need to do this entire area from the first day forward. I do a lot of things in this 1 day cycle. Like that's the only time we change the day. I don't know. Informative Let's Plays. Does anyone watch them? If so, let me know. Tell me, give me a reason that they're good, or give me a good one to watch. I wouldn't mind just seeing something that's great. Like, as I honestly, I've never watched one and been like, oh, that was a great experience. And if you have one that you think is great, I would love to see it, and then maybe I'll talk about it next time. Anyway, let's move forward. Hamster of YouTube. Oh, I don't know who you are. You're new. Hello. I love you. I wasn't aware there was a new layout. I looked at it, it looks pretty good, but it's too bad it's causing the end of YouTube for all eternity. Yeah, I know, right? I kind of like YouTube, right? It's really sad that it's going to be over. Takoe says, Ryan, at first I'd like to know what you think by now of Call of Cthulhu. Your reactions in the current video, number 16, were hilarious if they were genuine. Well, would they be hilarious if, like, does your perception change if I were to tell you that everything in that video I just made up? That's not the case. I was, like, legit freaked out by just being chased by the amorphous blob. Which, for some reason, I'm thinking I'm, like, right now, just from what I've seen of the game, I'm thinking that's the high point of the game. I honestly don't see it pulling anything better than that. Especially considering, like, since this video's been out, episode number 17 has been uploaded, and episode 17 just isn't, like, we go and see the amorphous blob again, and it's just not as such an experience. Like, I would honestly not have even uploaded episode 17 if it wasn't necessary to tie the events together, because just very little happens in it. Anyway. But Call of Cthulhu is terrible. Can I say that? Call of Cthulhu has terrible gameplay. This point-and-click adventure stuff, I guess it's not really point-and-click, it's missed walk-around adventure stuff, is just so, like, incredibly obnoxious. Like, it's just, like, you can't... Logic doesn't apply to some of it, and it just doesn't... It's just bad. But it has this charm, like I don't even, like, the plot doesn't even seem good. I want to say that it does because it was written by such an esteemed author, but I can't look at that plot. Like, I can't look at the events of what's happened so far and been like, this is a good story. So far, it's been just, like, an obnoxious story, really. I don't know if maybe when they made the game they missed the mark, but this unfortunate fact of the matter is the game sucks, but it has this charm, and I'm very interested in finishing it. And that's why I like Aiden Chronicles. I distinctly remember having this same feeling on the 10th hour of Aiden Chronicles, where you're near the end, and a plot point was revealed to you, and it's like, oh, you're gonna meet a dragon. Spoilers, you meet a dragon. There's a dragon on the cover of Aiden Chronicles. It doesn't look anything like the dragon you meet. So it kind of becomes this whole, like, Aiden Chronicles became this whole, like, oh, this game is terrible, but I'm so interested in what happens, and Call of Cthulhu has suddenly become the same thing. Maybe I just hate myself. That's probably likely. Yes. But Jacoby goes on to say, I feel a bit bad that I was kind of an arsehole there, but I love how the sequence managed to terrify every single Let's Player I've watched. Well, yeah, because this is the only good part of the game. Honestly, up to that point, you were so calm, composed, and sarcastic, I didn't think the Charlotte Shake sequence was writing you. The problem is nothing before that was the only thing I could say that was legitimately frightening. Like when the game cuts away to a different sequence, it's just stupid. Like it's always sort of been. The game cuts away to, for anyone who's not watching that series, which I don't think any of you are not watching. Well, maybe, I don't know. a lot of people came out in the woodworks to watch this video and leave a comment, which is great. Do that again. But like you'll be walking along and in Call of Cthulhu, and all of a sudden something dumb will happen. And it's usually, like, almost always the dumb thing is like 99% of the time the dumb thing is you see a vision of one of the enemies in the game, or sometimes you go back to your time in an insane asylum because you spent time in an insane asylum, and the wall is bleeding, or there's bugs everywhere, and it's just not even remotely frightening. However, amorphous blob chasing you and you can't see it, that shit is scary, especially considering you are so weak. It kind of becomes like this actual frightening thing. The only other time I think there was an actual thing that was scary was you go into, like, you're at the streets of Innsmouth, and this is a super good scene where you go down into this thing, or into this kind of like side area, and you see it cuts to someone looking at you. Or not looking straight at you, but like looking at where you'll be in the darkness, and then you have to progress to that area, and it's like, oh my god, there's something in here, and then it turns out there's nothing in there. But just that sequence was good too. Anyway, we're talking about Call of Cthulhu for too long because I only have 45 minutes to get through all of these comments. Yeah. Aunt P says Threshold is the best Star Trek. Jacoby agrees, an underrated classic. Threshold is weird because Threshold is a remarkably watchable episode. Like, if you compared the worst that The Next Generation had to offer, like, say, that episode where they go onto the planet where everyone's basically a trope of a... or not a trope, but like a racist representation of an African, like, tribal society, and then, like, all the women fight in a laser cage. What a fucking stupid episode. And compared to Threshold, Threshold is easily a more watchable episode. It's just so stupid. For those of you who are lucky enough to not have experienced Threshold, it's an episode of Star Trek Voyager in which someone goes warp 10. Like, the way the whole warp structure works is it's like the logarithmic scale or whatever, where warp 10 is infinite velocity, like you're going super fast in your spaceship sort of thing. But, like, you know, so, like, theoretically you can't go warp 10 because that's infinite velocity. It doesn't make sense. Or it would be a time travel thing or something, like, who knows. So it's just like, oh, we're going warp 9.7, so 9.9 or whatever. Anyway, what ends up happening is the person who goes warp 10 in the spaceship simultaneously, I think they explain it as, was everywhere in the galaxy at the same time, or everywhere in the entire universe at the same time, and this caused them to evolve really fast, and it turned them into a... I don't know why I'm making this voice. It turned them into a lizard creature, and then they couldn't breathe, and then they went on a planet, and then for some reason another person turned into a lizard creature, and then they had sex, and they had lizard babies. That's the whole plot of that episode. I think there was also a subplot about, you know, the Neelix, the obnoxious chef of the ship. Anyway, that's Threshold. It's a good episode. It's really watchable. I like it. Jacoby also says, I didn't even know another new layout was coming. YouTube changes its looks more often than other people do their underwear. Actually, the channel page hasn't changed too frequently. It's like, it's because there's just, they went from the old layout, which came out like a year ago. Was it a year? It might have been more than, it might have been less than a year. But now they're going to this new layout, which all of the Google services are doing, and the front page is that layout, and now they're just sort of doing page by page. I don't know why we had, like, I don't know why, because the front page is legit bad, like, because What to Watch, the thing that they introduced, just is shitty. And I actually, this is one of the, or that's a huge thing that I cut out from the last video, was I had a whole diatribe about how What to Watch punishes people, and I can't fucking, punishes people for not uploading every day, and I can't fucking find You know what? I'm not gonna get into it. You know, when we have a slow comment day, maybe I'll talk about that. But yeah, the front page sucks. Channel page is great. Let's go with that. Anyway, Jacoby says about the channel page. Seriously, I don't really care. I don't do videos on YouTube, so I won't lose any sweat on this issue. I'll eventually learn how to handle a new design sooner or later, if there will be any problems at all. Oh, there won't be. But maybe this is one of those reasons the users get angry all the time, because the frequent changes don't really let them settle down. Humans love their routine. I like new stuff, like, computer-wise. Am I the only one like that? Like, I like it when websites change their layout. Even if it's a subtle thing, I find, like, it's just very enjoyable to learn or just to play with something new. Yeah, I don't know. I guess, maybe I'm not typical. Oh, by the way, on the video right now, that fucking bird just stole my bottles because I'm a retard. There's a bird that steals your items. And then I need that bottle for a reason later. It's the whole thing. Anyway. Oh. For anyone who's interested in what's been happening in the Zelda video so far, is at all interested. So far, the events that have occurred were, as Goron Link, I got these powder kegs, because I can carry them. I unblocked a racetrack. The racetrack is just a thing that they do when spring comes. I won the race, got gold dust. Earlier, I dropped off my sword at the gigantic bear and the twink whatever guy Mr. Nipples, who are going to forge that into a nicer sword, and I got the gold dust so that I can forge it more later, I guess. Anyway, and now here I am because I had a thing. Because I had a powder keg to get in here so I can get my horse. I love horses. Do I love horses? Oh, I miss Shello the Lusky. He once said something really inappropriate about horse pornography. That was weird. Anyway, Benjamin Bronner says, the new layout doesn't bother me at all. In all reality, I didn't have a problem with the old layout, but hey, whoever the heck owns YouTube these days can do what they want with it. As long as I get my daily fix of Mr. Ryan Ross, the YouTube layout could switch to being a blank screen for all I care. Well, if it was blank, then you wouldn't get your daily fix of Ryan Ross, now would you? I guess not a lot of people actually watch videos on a channel page. Most people get it from subscription boxes. Oh, that's not true. I have stats on that. It's about half and half. So, you know, that little header thing that I made will actually be seen by people, which is great. Ben also goes on to say, I agree with Stanley L. Your Oblivion House play is probably the best quality one on YouTube. My real question is, not that it's not a good video, but who the heck, unless they're already familiar with you, is just looking up Dino DLPs. I've been questioning for a year why it's the most popular video on your channel. I have no idea either. It's just it's just one of those things where I happen to luck out and just be the top subscribe thing. It's like
Plus hints. Nope.
No. Oh, no. No, that's right, Aunt P. What I was that is entirely correct. I didn't say the right word. I just happen to be the top search results for Dino D-Day, and I don't know who's looking for them. I honestly have no idea who's looking for them. All that I know is that somebody is, and I'm on the top. Also, type in Tutor 5 for DOS. For anyone who watched that Let's Play way back when, that one's super old. It's awful. Well, I don't know. It's kind of funny in a campy sort of way, but I'm the top Google search result for typing Tutor 5 for DOS, or just typing Tutor 5, or not the top one, but I'm pretty high up on the list, and the comments for that are just filled with people asking for me to give them the copy of typing Tutor 5 for DOS, which is hilarious. I gave it to no one because, you know, copyrighted software, man. I don't hand it out. I paid for Adobe Premiere. I'm an incredibly I'm an incredibly software legal person. I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah. Another one that's popular, Legend of Zelda, or no, Legend of Zelda, Fallout New Vegas, episode 60, Veronica wears a dress. There's people looking for video game help on where to get a dress for Veronica. I provide none of that. Any of you that just recently showed up, leave a comment about that, about how I did not help you find Veronica's dress. I feel sorry about that. This is also a nerd. Wait, ZSO Alt is a nerd? Is that how do you say that? I don't know. That new layout is indeed very white compared to the old one, but at least more coherent with the overall YouTube design. I know, right? I also think it looks fine. I like simple and minimalistic stuff. People always hate changes, but after 3 months, no one will even remember the old layout. Isn't that the case? I'm sure a bunch of people complained about the oh, actually no, because the one before the current one is a pile of garbage. So I think just the fact that it was even a slight improvement was, I don't even remember what it looked like. I think there's a video of it on iJustine's channel. I should probably go look at that, and then I could know what I'm talking about. Wadsworth107 says, in regards to my Morrowind / Skyrim / Oblivion Let's Play, can't wait till you kick the Adoring fans' little adorable ass. Thank you. Have a nice day. Yeah. No, that you can't put it. The Adoring fan, I don't know. This is something. There's a plot there, and I'm not sure if it involves the Adoring fan yet. We'll see. I only have broad strokes right now. I'll figure something out. Mike Norris. Hello, Mike Norris. Hello. I am legit the guy who never comments except after watching your Omicron and Shadow Man Let's Plays. You caught me. Please stop monitoring my internet usage now. Oh my god. I didn't think you actually existed. I was so excited when I was so super excited when I read that the other day. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy that you existed. I'm so happy that you left a comment. Not much else for me to say except that I enjoy your content and style. Well, you know what? I enjoy your peace sign avatar. Is that a peace sign? I can't see. I'm fairly blind. I'm losing my eyesight. It's really terrible. I have a prescription for glasses that I haven't filled. I watched your Mega Man. I watched your Mega Man Legends LP in one day, and I think that's because you didn't follow the standard LP model, as you say, by cutting crap content, remaining engaging, and instilling your videos with, I guess, a sense of self rather than pandering for views. Yeah, that's right. I don't pander for views very often. I think I did in the Dead Space one, and then the Dead Space one, or Dead Space 2, and it just, I wasn't even pandering for views. I think just at the end of the video, I had a little text thing with Helvetica Condensed, which is the best typeface that ever existed. Actually, I guess Helvetica Condensed would be a font. Helvetica would be the typeface. Differences between fonts and typefaces, the most exciting things in the world. Where I put a little thing of text at the end of the thing, being like, hey, subscribe, or hey, press the like button, or hey, leave a comment. And one, I realized that I don't really care about those numbers. Like, well, you know, I care about them insofar as it's kind of fun to see them, and it's kind of fun to be like, hey, look, I managed to amass, you know, over 1,000 subscribers. But just ignore everything that's happening on the screen right now because this goes nowhere. This is why it's sped up. But it just felt really cheap to have that thing where you're asking, and the only one I feel comfortable asking is for a comment because I like I like having a two-way communication. Plus, it also helps when people say something that they don't like. They don't like Best When I 7 said they didn't like the way my upload schedule is. Great. I'm glad that you said that. I'm glad that when you say that something is lame because that gives me a good basis of improvement. Right? Yes. Of course, right. Oh, also, Mike Norris has to say, I'd like to add that I, personally, wouldn't have a problem with ads on videos. While it can be annoying, I've come to accept it as part of the YouTube experience for pretty much all the videos I want to watch. Oh, well, great. I'll keep that in mind if I ever get rights to put ads on a video. I don't even, because I like making money from YouTube. I would love to make money from YouTube. I would love for that just to be a full-time job. Wouldn't that be great? Because I currently have a lame job. I shouldn't say it's a lame job. It's a service industry job that requires that is moderately challenging, sort of fun, and doesn't have customers. So that's pretty much tops in this society, day and age, right? Pretty much any job that doesn't involve customers is a great job nowadays. But just think what a great living it would be to literally make money, or like literally just have a living doing YouTube. Like, I would kill to be a Tazon Day Or no, I don't want to be Daysante. Oh god. But you know, like a Northern Lion, or like a PewDiePie, that sort of thing. That would be nice, wouldn't it? But it's entirely unrealistic. Like you can't. I feel like when the channel is at my size, there just shouldn't be ads, and the only reason I put them on was to subsidize the cost of Adobe Premiere, which is very expensive. And when I realized that that wouldn't happen, I just flip them off. As I don't like the idea because I honestly just don't have the rights. Like I don't have the copyrights to get or to stick ads on videos. Like that's something that, you know, score legal team, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, DDVS 2012 says Resident Evil 4 is a masterpiece. I forgot to put a 6 at the end. People who like Resident Evil 6 are in denial. Oh, well then. I haven't played any of the Resident Evil, so I'll just believe you. DDVS linked to something in the video and says something about being meta level, and I don't know what he's referring to. So I'm just gonna skip that comment entirely. 0 people thought that comment was clever. I beg you to go see Skyfall. I really, really want to hear what you think. If you don't laugh at the introduction of the random Scottish dude at the end, then I don't know, maybe I'm just wrong. Oh, that's probably not gonna happen because movies are terrible. I hate movies. I'm not going to elaborate on that. T-Roy! Hello. This is uploaded on my 16th birthday. Well, happy birthday. I got you a cake. I didn't get you a cake. I can't afford to get you cakes. DDVS 2012 also says, Dark Messiah of Might and Magic is underrated, and I think you should give it a try. I played the demo for it. It sucked. No, seriously, I played the demo for it, and it was so, like, jarring, that the fact that we have the source engine. Oh, by the way, I'm fighting aliens right now. Why am I fighting aliens? I don't know. Majora's Mask. Big side quest. Pretty much a required side quest, actually. Like, the game really, really convinces you to do it. Anyway. Oh god, I totally lost my train of thought. Dark Messiah Might and Magic. It just wasn't fun, I think was the problem with it. It was slow, it was clunky, and like there wasn't a plot that I could see. It seemed like how it should seem. Like, no, I'm not articulating this very well. Like, it seems like a hammy game, and I feel like it is a hammy game. But I also didn't give it that much of a try. Maybe, you know, it turns into a fantastic thing, but the gameplay just killed it for me. Maybe if the gameplay was super fun, I could do it, but whatever. Hack and slash. Why don't I just play Oblivion? Why don't I just play Skyrim, am I right? Takobi says, it's good to see we don't agree on everything. You dislike Resident Evil 5 on the assumption that it's racist, but like Resident Evil 4, which, in my opinion, I didn't play it but saw footage on YouTube and read about the plot, is equally racist against Spaniards. It displays elements of a very specific form of racism, the so-called Leandra Negra, which firstly arose among Protestant countries, Netherlands, Anglophone areas, who fought the Spanish Empire in the 16th and 17th century and partially continues to linger around. Take, for example, the works of Edgar Allan Poe or Monty Python's Nobody Expects the Spanish Inquisition up to today. According to this black legend, Spaniards show a special inclination towards religious fanaticism, violent behavior, and forming authoritarian despotic governments. All of that is present in Resident Evil 4, the religious cult in Los Illuminados everyone lavishly adheres to, complete with Catholic habits, and the almost feudal-like state of society ruled by a nobleman whose physical degeneration mirrors the effects of inbreeding among the former Habsburg royal family of Spain. Amazing how much of the black legend common in Western Protestant countries gets incorporated into a game made by Japanese. So dislike Resident Evil 5 only because of its racism seems to be a bit inconsequential to me. You know what? You are very smart. Have I said that? I'm gonna say that. You're very clever. And unfortunately, I feel bad, but I don't really have anything to add to that conversation. The issue that I have with all of you is every opinion that I'm forming about Resident Evil is not based around first-hand experience. Like, for all I know, I could play Resident Evil 5, and it could be a perfectly acceptable game. Like, it could be, like, really, maybe I'm probably just editorializing and just saying words about Resident Evil 5 because whatever, they're zombies, right? Like, just the fact that it happens to be a bunch of black zombies this time doesn't necessarily mean, like, you know, maybe Resident Evil 4, because it actually has real undertones, is actually the real racist game. But I don't know. I don't play any of them. Maybe I should. Maybe I should form a real opinion, rather than just reading a bunch of stuff and then staring at it with my mouth agape. Which I did while I was reading it. My mouth was agape. It was agape, and it was opening and closing, because that's what happens when you talk. And you really like Homeland? Jacoby also continues to say, gosh, as far as I can tell, I watched only a few bits and read some reviews. This is probably the most racist show towards Muslims currently on air. I think if you actually watched Homeland from start to finish, it paints like any good serialized TV show. Serialized TV being the best form of entertainment of any type of thing ever fished today. It really paints everything in shades of gray. You know, the Muslim, just Muslim countries isn't like the only, or just Muslim people are like, those aren't the bad guys. The Muslim religion isn't evil. Really, it's a side, it takes the people, like, let's take for instance, there is a woman who provides information, and she behaves not like a Muslim person. She behaves like a frightened person. She behaves like a real person, rather than, oh my god, this is a Muslim, and in this awful Muslim place. Like, and one of the spoilers, one of the main characters ends up being, like, secretly a Muslim. So I don't think that applies. Like, it's like I said, shades of gray, and it's just, the plot is so good. It's so remarkably engaging. I am running out of voice. Bester97 says, I don't really care if they change. Referring to the new YouTube layout, is it annoying to learn a new layout? A little, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not nearly as big of an annoyance as some people are saying. Yeah, I know. End of YouTube guy. I love that guy. Plus, what you are saying about improvements that people don't notice, it really is not that bad. Yes, precisely. Also, Bester97 asks, do you have has a question? Do you go on 4chan? No. 4chan is the armpit of the internet. 4chan is terrible. Terrible things happen on it. Okay, I've kind of forsaken... Oh gosh, my voice is going so badly. I kind of forsaken internet humor in general. Or no, but... Okay. Okay, let's talk about what I would be doing on 4chan if I went to 4chan. I would be going on 4chan, basically for, just... new and emerging internet humor. And I no longer I no longer search the internet for internet humor. Like, oh god, every sort of internet meme, except for probably like heavy YouTube memes, I find so incredibly obnoxious. Image macros are the worst. The internet has ruined them. And just the fact that there's so much, just the fact that 4chan spawned that sort of thing is awful. Like, I know it was better when they were doing it, but it's just, like, it's kind of tainted my view of 4chan forever. Also, the fact that if in 4chan, you do have to, you have to wade through crap. Lately, for my internet consumption needs, I've been enjoying, I've been generally enjoying Reddit, but I can't stand, like, any of the default subreddits, except for maybe WTF, but that's only when WTF is being actually WTF. Do you call it WTF? Do you actually call it what the fuck? I don't know. What the foof? You just destroyed my house. But yeah, so it's, 4chan is awful. Let's just say that. 4chan is terrible. Reddit is worse, but at least Reddit lets you fine-tune your experience in a way, in an interesting way that other websites don't seem to be able to. Like you can remove Reddits and add Reddits that are good, and there are people who you know, there are probably people who think the same as you, so they so that you can find Reddits that fit you, and that's why I'm still doing Reddit. Oh, you know what? Here's something interesting. Let's go through my Reddit list, or my list of subreddits. I'm sure someone will be interested in that. I'm currently subscribed to boring stuff. Yeah, Android, Aw, because I like cat pictures. Games, not gaming. I don't like gaming, but games is not bad. There's a few gay people subreddits because Oculus for the Oculus Rift, that thing that's really exciting, and I wonder how I'm gonna let's play with it. Anyone who doesn't know what that is, look it up immediately. Tomato, that's my subreddit. Somebody show up and post something. You know, cats, whatever. Here's where it gets exciting. Dinosaurs fuck robots. That one's important. Definitely always be subscribed to Dinosaurs Fuck Robots. Child free. I hate children. They're the worst things in the world. Bag cat. Pictures of cats in bags. What else? Seventh World Problems. You gotta be subscribed to one of the world problems. Might as well be the seventh one. There's nothing good on Seventh World Problems anymore. I feel like I'm talking about that is ruining it. Cable porn. It's nice pictures of cables. Yeah, and then a bunch of other markets. Anyway, enough about that. 4chan is terrible, Reddit is terrible, everything is terrible. The internet sucks, YouTube is the worst. Takobi says, I don't hate Deep Space Nine. In fact, I loved it for the same reasons you mentioned before the series turned upside down during the last 2 seasons. I like the complex and multifaceted characters, with Major Kira and Aquatakat being my favorites. See, I like the complex and multifaceted events to go with the complex and multifaceted characters. The show got darker and more intricate and was willing to tread new dirty paths instead of staying inside a squeaky clean bubble forever. You also correctly mentioned the subtle racism of TNG, with the humans being the enlightened, benign, I know that word in text, but I never hear it or have to say it. Hegemon everybody? Hegemon? I don't know. Whatever. Except a few obdurate backward races wants to emulate, mirroring an essentially US and Eurocentric worldview, with more than just a small taste of colonialism. In this way, I appreciated the more realist changes, but introducing changes is one thing, turning everything upside down another. It is completely understandable to introduce religious concepts. One doesn't have to reveal the protagonist being literally the Messiah. It is one thing to introduce war into the Star Trek universe, but celebrating it, with the characters reciting martial poetry and Cisco putting up burnt-out weapons on display like trophies, means a completely new dimension. Ronald D. Moore may have a tendency to go over the top. He did it too at Battlestar Galactica, with Starbuck literally returning from the dead to act as a guardian angel. Yeah, I know, right? This is spoilers, by the way. I'm spoiling Battlestar Galactica for the 4 of you that haven't seen it. And with the 2 Jungian Shadow characters, Shadow Baltar and Shadow Caprica 6, brazenly affirming the existence of God in the final episode. Yeah, that was kind of annoying. He does those sorts of things, and you know what? It's good TV, regardless of the... Like, Ronald D. Moore doesn't... I don't think Ronald D. Moore cares about messages as much as he cares about just writing television. And that has made some of the awful television, and it's made some great television. So, what can you say? I liked Caprica. And this is the very definition of jumping the shark, going over the top, when you don't just introduce religion, but make your protagonist the savior, which, by the way, is TNG's condescending Eurocentrum on roids. Now, the humans are no longer just enlightened because of hard work and self-improvement, but the chosen people. What you gonna do about it? Puny foreign race. Our demigod can make fleets disappear. The show didn't just introduce necessary changes, it undid everything to the extreme, thereby jumping the shark. But the thing is I don't know, that show, it's still good. I still like it. I don't know if I have a convincing and correct argument about why I do, but it's good TV. It's bad ideals. I don't think those two don't necessarily have to go together. You don't have to have good ideals to have good television. Um, Take Homeland for instance. Homeland doesn't have ideals, but it's such a fucking good show. Did Lost have ideals? Not really. Lost was good for the first 2 seasons. It's mostly just sitting and staring. Like, TV doesn't... TV is at its best when it's telling a good message. Right? Like, there's a lot in, for instance, Farscape, which is a great show. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. Where Crichton, the main character in Farscape, is being... the entire show is a whole fish out of water experience. But then he starts to figure out... He kind of becomes, like, space badass, if that makes any sense. And then the show kind of gets a little bit silly. And then it kind of the show ends on this note of, like, he kind of figures out that he can destroy everything. Spoilers for anyone who doesn't watch Farscape, but... like the show progresses with him ending up being like the ultimate space badass and choosing not to be space badass, and that's a message. Like, that's a good message, and that makes probably like a great moment in TV. But you can't have that all the time. Like, if there's a story that you want to tell and it doesn't have a message and doesn't fit with a message, you just tell the story. Regardless of the effects. And Ron Moore does that. And Ron Moore will also tell a story sometimes. Like, I don't know if he was the one responsible for it, but there was also the whole suicide bomber plot in Battlestar Galactica, where it was the opposite. Like, it was you being on the side of the suicide bombers, quote unquote. And that was a message too. Like, that was a good message. So I don't know. When I'm talking about going over the top, though, it's sort of becomes this whole thing where, as long as it stays good TV, like, I can suspend my disbelief maybe a little bit further than you can. Does that make sense? Maybe that makes sense. I don't know. Anyway, 7 of 9. Oh dear. Actually, I don't think that show respected her. It didn't respect her at all. No, let's talk about 7 of 9 really quickly. No, the show really did well by her, I think. Just in, like, I think that if her plot had occurred exactly the way it did, and she wasn't a busty person, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I don't think that you would have as big of a problem with it. Just because, like, that show is, or the things that happen to her are good things. Like she becomes a human being, slowly and in her own way. She develops a spiritual connection, or she develops, or she recites a spiritual connection to the Omega particle, which is a great, like, I'm just naming off good things that happen as far as I'm concerned, which was great. You have the Unimatrix Zero, where she which is kind of dumb, but where all she has is just reasonable relationships with people, not because she is a not because she's, a busty blonde or whatever. And yeah, whatever. Anyway, we're running out of time, so I'm gonna have to pull this episode to a close. Look at this sweet sword that I managed to get. I did lots of things. Shadow Romani, I got a thing. Next time, actually, I'll finish reading this comment really quick. Already written 4 paragraphs, Jacoby says. This is my 5th. I don't own the commentary section. The other users must be getting annoyed at my rants and sermons and my tendency to engross your time. But I would love to go deeper about this issue with you. May I write you a PM? Yes, anyone can write me a PM if you want. Last but not least, thank you so much for trimming the video already. Oh, well, no, you're welcome. Anyway, that is the end of this video. Leave a comment. Of course, everyone always should comment. Maybe you should talk about whether or not you find Jacoby obnoxious. Let's get some infighting going on here. Thank you for making the previous video. Probably, I think, the top commented video I have of all time. Isn't that great? 30 comments. There's lots of comments. I like reading them. And I don't mind when you write paragraphs, which is great. So if you have any topic of conversation that you want to bring up and you want me to talk about, I will talk about it. We talked about 4chan for a while. That was a good one. We talked about some other stuff, Resident Evil, whatnot, YouTube layouts, cool things. I have opinions about stuff. I will tell you them. So thanks for watching. Oh, and I have a present for you. It's very exciting. It is happening right now, and I hate myself for it. I'm better, so much better now. I see the light, touch the light, we're together now. I'm better, so much better now. Look to the skies, give me life, we're together now. We've only just begun, hypnotized by drums until forever comes. You'll find us chasing the sun. They said this day wouldn't come. We refuse to run, we've only just begun. Oh, 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 oh. You'll find us chasing the sun. Oh, 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 oh. You'll find us chasing when the daylight's fading. We're gonna play in the dark till it's golden again. You'll find us chasing. Oh, yeah, that's enough of that. Okay, bye.